Start. Yeah, there we go. Finally. Okay, cool. Super. If you guys, again, if possible, of course, watch on YouTube, please. I mean, watch on both, but if you don't actually care, I think YouTube is probably lower latency as well, so... And then, how can I actually get to the stream? I don't even know. So here's the chat. La 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 la. Live. Yes. Okay, great. So I suppose it's there. Yeah. Okay, that's the live URL of YouTube. Okay, great. Well, let me just also share it here. Okay, perfect. Beautiful. Then we have this fella. And then we can close that and that. Okay, beautiful. Well, good evening officially. Now we can actually big shot. Good evening, buddy. Love you, Leo. Thank you very much for doing that, man. I appreciate it. Good evening, everybody. Actually, let me turn off this subscriber only. You guys kind of showed negative emotions towards it. So let's see. Let's see how we can make that better. Still focus on you guys, but make sure that people can at least do something. Alrighty, cool. Oh yeah, we didn't. I just literally took a nap with my son. Honestly, I felt a bit sick, and then I took paracetamol. I almost feel like some flu is gonna hit me, but maybe I'm just a bit overworked, so I think my immune system might have gotten down a bit. But I soda Dev. Good evening, buddy. No, it's good. I actually feel, you know, when you feel a little bit of pain in your throat and you feel like a little bit warm. That's kind of how I feel, I think. But it's good. It's good. I took a little nap and then I think it feels good now. Okay. So what's happening here? Let's try this again and then we can start hacking on. You know the feeling that I'm talking about, right? And is our production behaving properly? Give me 1 second just to... Yeah, it is. So what is it about? Oh yeah. I think no, but I did. Give me 1 second. Yeah, man. It's I took my son maybe 2 hours ago. So when I was writing on Discord, I was basically outside with him in the sand. So I was just on my phone because I was bored to hell. Trust me. Being 34 and sitting in a sand for 2 hours. You know, not the most fun stuff, I can tell you. Alright, so let's just set this up. I'm sorry, just 1 moment and we're ready. And then, wait a minute, so this should have been there, yeah, right? Yeah. So let's put this bad boy here, and then let's put this fella over here. It still says it's waiting. Jack, what is waiting? And just so you know, guys, I'm streaming on multiple services right now. So if you hear me like... Ah, okay. Wow, really? The YouTube? Super strange. Okay, it should be. I mean, I can see iSoder dev here. So, okay. No clue. Okay. So, cool. Let's see what the hell happened here, though. Node modules, serialization, countries. Let's see what's happening here, though. This is, I think, the thing we had last night. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, wait a minute. The YouTube, shit, man, that's wrong. Give me 1 second. Let's just learn, because I recently started streaming on YouTube. I think it's gonna be good for this project. And let me see. Maybe there's some other share screen that I. Maybe this. Let me try to share this other link with you there. But yeah, if you guys don't care, please watch on YouTube, because it's gonna... I see. I see, Oh, okay, got it, okay. Yeah, thanks. Because this is gonna count towards my like YouTube hours, whatever. So if you don't really care, and I think quality is as good, if not better, there, just feel free, and also feel free to chat there. I'll actually put this chat up here so I can see what you guys are actually saying. Yeah, 24 gold. I can see your comment there. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it very much. So let's go to countries and yes, let's go over here and let's just fix this because there's something wrong with the schema. It says like, hey Alex, something's messed up in your schema, man. That's what it's saying, right? So it seems that it doesn't like the country schema anymore, right? Okay, so let's see why, right? Because we have the countries really, which is just an array of strings, right? That seems pretty okay. Oh, it's because of this, right? This thing might be messing it up, right? Hello world. Huh. Okay, so let's just fix this very quickly, then we're gonna get back to something bigger. The thing is, all right. Interesting. Okay, so why? Okay, let's actually do produce that error, right? So we have this authentic. So if you go to, so by the way, I started recording the Fastify course. I think it's gonna be an amazing course because I'm gonna try to incorporate in it not just Fastify, but really everything that I know. I think I'm looking forward to actually get with that somewhere soon. More stuff on that. Okay, give me a second. So this is gonna throw 403, right? And then we're gonna end up in our error handler, right? I think it's gonna be very useful because I will try. It's just the scary thing about it is that I can. My biggest problem when I'm doing the courses, right? That I'm no, so not to be too spoiled and too full of myself. It's that is the problem, Rebecca, right? It's that whenever I'm trying to do something, there's so much stuff I can talk about that it's like you need to find. It's so hard to find the you have to limit yourself, right? Because I already wrote like, okay, there's just those. Yeah, but it's so many important things that I want to say, right? But you also so yeah, but the thing is there is so much to say, right? And so many things are important. It's just like I almost have to limit myself, not because it takes time for me to do it, it's because the population seem to be very impatient today. It's like if I make a course that's like 7 hours long, is anybody gonna watch that, right? So it's more you know, I'm more worried about that than if you get what I mean, right? In 100 seconds, yeah. Yeah, everything is like that today. Yeah, but he's good. I mean, that content I respect, right? So that content is respectful, right? I've watched many of his videos, and of course, all these videos really are very, they're very, you know, they're very narrow, right, and stuff like that. But they're very good, right? They can give you some, you know, insights into something. W42 Dev, thank you very much, man, for the prime. I very much appreciate it, dude. Thank you. Drumkind, you deserve more viewers. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that, man. I think it's yeah, I'm trying to focus on the quality now, not quantity. So we have some few amazing people who've been around for a long time now. So I'm gonna try to more focus on those people who stick around than, you know, people who come and go very quickly. But thank you, man. That's a very kind thing that you say. So actually I need to, so let me show you why I need to solve this issue. And it seems quite a small issue, right? But it's not, right? Because I've been seeing past, let's say past 7 days, right? I can see since I changed some of the stuff in relation to authentication, right? You can see that we're getting a lot. The value of hashtag does not match schema definition, right? And The reason why we're getting this, right, is because it's because of this. So for instance, let me show you what happens. So now if I refresh this, countries are going to fail because the logged in decorator is going to throw that I'm not logged in. But then the countries themselves expect to return a specific schema, specific, like in this case, an array of strings, right? And due to that, we're getting, but let's actually see how that works from the perspective of Fastify's hooks, right? Because if we go to, let me show you one thing. So if we go over here, right? And I think if we search for life cycle, right? This is very, courses are going to be free. So this is one of the beauties of Fastify, right? So in Fastify, right, you have several built-in lifecycle hooks into which you can hook at any given time, depending, for example, what do you want to do at a specific step of each request and response lifecycle. So you can see the request is going to come in to your API, then the routing starts, and then you can see you have this on request hook, pre-parsing, parsing, pre-validation. So for example, you can see for us here on request hook, right, what we are doing, we're basically using most of our middlewares, as you would call them in Express or decorators, if it concerns this thing, Fastify. So you can see here we're saying on request, which basically is this hook here. So you can see very early when the request comes in, before we do any other stuff. Like we don't want to be serializing, deserializing data. We don't want to be doing any extra work. We want our API to either succeed or fail as quickly as possible, right? So that's why very early here we say, hey, okay, slash countries is hit, is user logged in? Yes, okay, great. Then continue. Then do the parsing, do the validation. So here at this point, we're going to be doing schema validation. If this passes, that means your schema is correct. And then etc, etc. Then serialization, deserialization, and then here the response basically happens, right? So somewhere in this lifecycle here now we're getting the value of hashtag does not match schema definition because if we go back here, right, to the API, because this guy is supposed to return this response, which is 200, which is an array of strings, right? Numinex, my friend, good evening. Not much, man, just hacking away, And then here on request is gonna actually terminate that, so it's not actually gonna manage to get there because of this. Now that's what we need to debug, right? Because I'm sure that actually, in fact, right here, so this is gonna throw 403. Please complete your profile before proceeding. Yeah, so we need to debug it. We need to fix this before we start doing anything else today, because it seems like a very random but very annoying and important thing, right? So let me actually see now what am I getting here. So yeah, I can see the error here. You do not have access, right? So this is the error, right? So if we get over here, so the error we're getting is this: you do not have access, please authenticate, right? And then if we search for this, so you can see that there's a bunch of decorators that call that, and one of them is authenticated. So right, so we're gonna try to verify the JSON web token, right? And it's super strange that actually at this point in time our JSON web token is invalid, right? Because if we actually go to the network tab and oh, okay. Very interesting. Okay, so this is problematic now. So you can see that I actually don't have JSON web token attached to my HTTP headers at all, right? So you can see, so the problem here seems to be different, right? Can you do some small side project and YouTube? That's what I'm gonna do with Fastify. Yes, that's the idea, to build something for real. Yes. So actually, so you can see what the problem here is. This is incredibly strange, right? So we can see that Obi, my friend, thank you very much, dude. That's very kind of you. Thank you, guys. Best stack creator. Thank you, dude. That's very motivating. Thanks, man. I need that, especially now. I need that kick, to be very frank with you. It's been a bag of mixed feelings past week or two. So the problem here actually is that since we're not authenticated, we should not be seeing this page at all. So why are we seeing this page? Give me a second. This is super awkward. So the issue is actually different. So we should not be seeing this page, right, at all. So the issue is not even what I suggested, even though there are multiple issues here. So let's go to app, right? Because we should not be even at this. We should never be getting to this point now. So let's see if loading is authenticated landing view. So I call this get authenticated user, right? But we don't even get there. Do we even call that? Whoops, one sec. Yeah, okay. Ah, I see, okay. No, it's good actually. So this is not throwing, I think. Yeah, I see what the issue actually is. Yeah, okay. That makes no sense, but I think I know. So probably if I would do this, right? This would now work, right? Yeah, exactly, right. I see, okay. So it does work, right? So, okay. Because this me is returning an empty object, this is actually supposed to throw, but it doesn't seem to do so. Let's see. Yeah, so there is a slight problem here we'll need to solve. 100%. Yeah, so we can see that we are actually getting to this point, and then this is supposed to throw, and then we're supposed to reject here with value, right? So if I search for this call, where did I actually call this dispatch? So Brainy, it's not about the JVT, it's a little bit different issue. I'm going to show you in a moment. But the issue is here. So basically, so let's see. But it's a very interesting issue, and we must solve it. We must solve it because it's not critical, but it's interesting. So first, yeah. So I think this unwrap here is the problem because or is it? Let's see. There are multiple elements. There's the API issue here. But then there's also the front-end issue. So I would expect this to reject with value. Okay. Here in a second. Because maybe, so I don't remember this is Redux Toolkit, right? So I don't actually remember the API Redux Toolkit, but I think this is not going to actually reject. This is going to, their API is going to return actually some error as the value, right? Yes, I think so. Yeah, it's this one here, right? Yeah. app.jsx get user response. No, so this doesn't work properly, and then the API doesn't work properly. So this. I wonder though, should we then do something like this? Oops. Let's see what happens now, because that could be just as well an issue. Let's go back here. We'll get there in a moment, I'm sure. I kind of know what the issue is. It's just yeah, so that's the problem. So why? So it seems that we're actually... Oh man, yeah, because the user isn't null. The user is an empty object, right? Yeah, I mean, this is really bad, right? But yeah, so let's do it like this just temporarily, right? So we're gonna say if object.keys, so basically we're gonna say or type of data user is an object, and yeah, this is super hacky, right? But it's fine, just temporarily, right? Just temporarily we want to do this, right? So instead of throwing, we can just reject from here. And that's okay, right? Yeah, that sucks ass, man. Okay. So let's see what's happening now. Type of data.user is an object and data user.length is 0. Yeah, so that should be fine now, I think. So we don't even get in here. What? So yeah, data is an object, right? Clearly. Do we have an await in front of that? We do. Bear with me. Come on. Come on, mouse. So yeah, it is an empty object, right? I see. So it's just a stupid question we're asking here, right? So yeah, so it's basically this now, right? So, but again, we can't have this. This is just, let's just temporarily yeah, so now we're kind of in a good state, right? Which doesn't mean that this issue is solved, right? The problem now is, right, is that so there's some schema issue in the API that because so that's the issue with the response schema in Fastify. You can see when it's wrong, now it's returning an empty object, which makes no sense. So this is now temporary thing just in the UI, right? But we're gonna fix that in a second, right? So you can see that /me shouldn't really be returning an empty object, right? And it's doing that because of the schema, and it's doing that because it's doing that obviously because since I'm not logged in right now, this user is not going to return the given thing. It's going to return basically nothing, right? So okay, let's actually maybe just smack this. Let's smack this inside of a robot and just explain the issue, right? For those of you who don't know, we refer to ChatGPT as a robot. Nominate. Yeah, no mix. Playing one game, my friend. Good evening. So let's I mean, yeah, let's let me define the problem, and then so given that endpoint and that response schema, and the fact that my decorator is gonna throw in case user isn't logged in, I am getting into the state where /me endpoint is returning an empty object. Where would TypeScript save me a lot of time? Exactly. This has zero to do with TypeScript, like zero. Nothing to do with TypeScript. This is an API related issue, right? So absolutely nothing to do with TypeScript. How would TypeScript save us time here? Yeah, schema validation. User responded define correctly. Fast schema validation field might not return expected. Make sure it aligns with the data that you're sending. Yeah, I didn't actually. So let's debug this ourselves. So let's go back here. So yeah, so the problem is basically that here, right, we are, but so let me just think here. Yeah, exactly. Robot didn't help. Pretty much, yes. So the problem is, right, that for whatever reason, we are actually hitting this. So the issue is that we shouldn't be actually hitting this, right? So it's like is authenticated in this case almost isn't working because we can see that shouldn't really, because the reason why I'm getting the empty object, right, is because this operation here, if I actually print it, right, that operation there obviously doesn't return anything because it can't, right? So yeah, right. So if I refresh this, right, we'll see that. Or will we see that though? So yeah, so that's so awkward, right? So is it somewhere in the error handler that I'm maybe messing up? Give me a moment. So if I go to my centralized error handler, right, it could be somewhere here that. So let's actually print the status code. Maybe the status code for whatever reason fails, right? And actually, let's just use Postman here, because it's a bit faster. You know, that's our database, right? Let's use Postman. Let's go users. Let's actually let's duplicate this one and let's call it get logged in user, whatever, right? And we'll just say get, right? And we're gonna say API v1/me or whatever is it? I don't know. What's the endpoint? Let's take a look at our Swagger here. So auth/me. Okay. Okay. So yeah, empty object, whatever. Great. We are getting 403. So we can see that we are in fact getting 403. Send user null. So what if we don't actually send a user at all? We just send an empty response, right? Yeah, so that's that makes it slightly different, right? For sure, right? So this null seems to be an issue. It seems to be an issue because it's somehow bound to the previous validation step, and that seems to be wrong, right? Because if I would do 400 here or whatever and then send, right? That would be different, right? Or 403. I just don't want to return the actual error to the UI because that's how we had it before. Because we were getting too many errors on the landing page, and that's not good for SEO, right? So why does it not like this on null? Let's try this. Where was that? Where were we? Yeah, here. Yeah, so yeah, so it's serializing that null into an empty object. So that's super awkward. Wait, let's give this so this is for sure an issue here. Let's take a look at the fella, right? This is where this is where the decorator the throw is handled. Why is Fastify turning a null into an empty object? why do you, so somebody asks, why do you do request if not logged in? It's very simple, right? We're using HTTP only cookie, right? So there's no way for us to check, hey, does the token exist, right? So the thing is, we have to do that, right? So when you come, we check if the user is there, because the HTTP only cookie cannot be accessed by JavaScript, right? That's the problem. Okay. So it seems this is what we have to do, right? So if I actually go back here and just remove the HTTP only cookie, yeah, I mean, that would for sure solve it, right? Try one thing. This is a Fastify thing that it's actually good to kind of, I would say, not learn but discover, right? Because I think this is 100% Fastify, right? Just gonna do something like this, no data, which makes no sense. The returning data alongside with it. I just wanna. There's no such thing as protected route in the backend. The backend has decorators and it has middleware that ensures that you're logged in. So that security is always done on both ends in its respective way, right? So none of that. This is not an issue that's breaking us anything. Obviously, production is working. It's just one of the things that we have an idea. Just so we we'll get there in a moment. I promise. All right, let me just ask the bot, because that's the Fastify thing, obviously, that it is very Fastify specific, right? Is there a way to make this schema conditional based on if the user is logged in or not? No, we don't want to. Shut up. No. So actually we don't need any of this. So this is definitely not a problem here, 100%. The problem is actually here and how we handle this, right? Jack, sounds good, my friend. Sounds good. We are checking it here, so I don't get... So the biggest confusion now, and I hope that this is not bugging Fastify, we are terminating this request response cycle here, right? So we don't even get to the validation part, which is when the actual validation happens when it comes to the schema, right? So, fuck. No, yeah, exactly. So why? Exactly, right? So that is kind of the question now, right? Because we are actually right. So over here, basically, we are. Where is it? So we have on request, right? So app is authenticated. So it should terminate this way before we even try to render this, right? That makes no sense. So wait, let me ask the bot, because I'm almost certain of what I'm saying, but it obviously doesn't work. So, but why are we even getting to the point of validating against the schema? Because on request hook happens way before schema validation. No. Ah, okay, so see what is it saying. So this kind of makes sense, right? It appears that instead of letting Fastify's lifecycle handle the error, you're catching it and explicitly sending 200 response with user null. Because you're sending a response, Fastify schema validation will kick in at this point, leading to the issue. If you don't want schema validation to happen for these cases, you can explicitly bypass it like so. Oh. Okay, interesting. So something new to learn, right? So if the bot is correct, it's saying, hey, you can skip some of those car X, good evening, friend. So this is good, right? This is what I'm trying to achieve. I don't want to, at this point, I know that the validation isn't correct, right? So that's really good. That's really good. Is it gonna work? That's the question. Okay, let's go ahead to the documentation now, because yeah, that's the problem. It totally didn't make it up. Oh, Fastify doesn't have a reply schema method out of the box. Oh, okay. Somebody on YouTube was praising it too much. Okay, serialize maybe. And then let's read. We got maybe overly excited a bit there. Nope. I don't think it likes this neither. Wait, let me see. Oof. Yeah, he gave me hope at least, and let's not take hope for nothing, right? Okay, so this is what we're missing, right? Okay, it seems to me, right? So if we go to the API, right? Give me a second, how was it? Header and then serialize. So we set the header to application oh, well, in this case, application JSON, right? Right, I assume, right? I cannot know. Let's take a look at that shit. I hate when this happens. Come on, no. I just wanted part of the browser. How do I get the... I'm gonna show you in a moment. I'm gonna show you in a second. Give me a moment, please. It's not a function. Beautiful. I'm with you in a second. Header, reply.header, content application JSON, serialize null. Yeah, I don't like that much. This is very hacky kind of, but let's just give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. It seems what I'm doing is just generally wrong, right? Now we're actually getting user null, right? And that's what actually I do want, right? Now at this point, I hope we're not getting the actual errors, right? So let's actually, yeah, so this is actually what I want. I mean, is the solution a bit disgusting? Absolutely. Do we necessarily care much? No, because that was my initial idea, right? So if you actually take a look also at the front-end code, right? This was my actual expectation, or was my desire. I actually wanted it to work exactly like this, right? So we can see here that this is exactly what I wanted now. And now actually that should be fine. I think we should have actually, so if I go back, so yeah, that's actually good. That is exactly what I wanted, right? Initially, I just thought that in one of the last streams, I actually thought that I achieved that, which I didn't. So that's actually perfect, right? So, and let me get to the questions in a moment. Let me try to log in now. Hopefully that we didn't mess up something else. Yeah, so I think this is really good. So this was a solution. So for those of you, we set the type to application JSON, and then we stringify this thing. And apparently this is going to bypass the request response lifecycle hooks in Fastify, or in simple words, we will not delegate its work to, if we scroll up, right? So this is where we execute this is authenticated on this stage. But because we were returning 200, right? So, I catch the actual error in my centralized error handler, and then I respond with 200. Every time I would do this, other hooks would also run to actually validate the data, right? And that's why it was failing. So apparently now this is the solution to kind of tell it, hey, do not validate. So at this point in time, I obviously don't want to validate against the schema because this is one of the exceptions right in here, right? So that's great. Let's deploy this to production. Now, hopefully, shit, maybe I was also too happy too soon. Let's see. I don't think so. I think we should be fine. Yeah. Let me just double check it once more. So if we go to the centralized error handler, if we print this bad boy here, right? And if we go back here, yeah, that's beautiful. That's perfect. That's great. Super. All right. So to respond to char on the extension. So the extension is called. Give me 1 second. It is called. When I see it, I will know. It's called error lens. It's this one. Let me share it. I'm gonna share it in YouTube, and I'm also gonna share it here. And then let's see my pleasure. Thank you for asking. Let's see what Leo asked. Have you ever turned down this one guy down a bonus like this one guy promised me? Leo is asking the following: have you ever turned down a bonus like this one guy promised me and other dev? If we get this new currency to production by this morning and work all night, we'll get like... I mean, Leo, this is a very bad way to do work, right? I mean, yeah, I would feel really bad if somebody would say stuff like this. And don't take me wrong, sure, am I a bit spoiled? Absolutely. Are we all, most of us, spoiled here a little bit? Absolutely we are. There's no single doubt or question about it. Our lives are too good to not to be spoiled, right? It's just, this is very awkward. You don't generally, so whoever did this to you is a very bad manager, right? You don't really do those things. You don't you don't condition people like this, right? You know, if you do this, you're gonna get this. I mean, it's like I don't even do that to my 5-year-old son, right? He's not even 5, and I hate doing that because it just sounds very shitty, right? It's like right. So it's I never turn down the bonus, and I never will, I hope, because I get it in a humane way. I get it because every human being deserves. Most people out there, I believe, should get bonuses every year or at least every 6 months. Because why? Because of inflation, right? So this is pretty terrible, right? Yeah, man, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. That's not a nice way. That's not a nice way to do stuff, man. I think Leo, many times in my career, I have worked sometimes whole night, but not because somebody conditioned me, because like that's what I'm saying. That guy could have done that so much better, and probably you would work whole night out of pride, right? So if he said to you in a kind way, in a respectful way, like, hey guys, look, can we, just sit together and crush, you can order yourself pizzas. I would never ask you this, but it's really important. Like, you can do that in so many ways, because it's okay that sometimes, sometimes in your career, you're gonna be at the point where you will need to deploy something, you're gonna have issues, but it's gonna be so, for example, let me give you an example. When I worked at Airtime, right? So when I worked here, right, initially when I joined the project, let me give you this concrete example, actually, exactly of that, Leo. So when I worked at this company, this website that you're looking at, I was kind of leading this website back then, and then I moved to an application team, to the electron.js team, right? So I remember before this website was released, and this was like roughly 4 or 5 years ago, I was at work, and the whole company depended on me. It's like if Alex doesn't deploy this, and they were okay if I don't. The whole product launch, we were actually releasing Airtime 2, so we were releasing a new hardware product, So I remember we just came up with Airtime 2, right? And the whole company depended on me. I just felt that I don't want to let people down. So I stayed at work until like 5 or 6 a.m. So many people started coming back to work the next day when I was finished. But then they told me, Alex, take 2 days off. It's paid by us. Thank you so much, man, right? So I felt a huge sense of pride and accomplishment, and the company made sure that and nobody conditioned me to do it. They just, obviously it was, so in those sort of cases, I would always do it again, right? There's no question about that. But that sort of stuff, like, oh, if you do this, we're gonna give you this. It's just sounds like a very inexperienced manager. Nothing else, honestly. The fuck? So that's my problem, right? That's my problem. All right, beautiful. So we fixed this bad boy here. Let's go to GitHub. But as always, right? Like, have your own path. Marv, good evening, buddy. How are you, my friend? So as always, right? Like, maybe before like, I did all sorts of jobs in my life, man. Shitty jobs, cleaning jobs, a lot of stuff. And I never regret anything for 1 second, because every step of this way makes you who you are today, right? So never forget that. Just stick to your own path, focus on yourself. Again, as I always say, don't compare yourself to others, compare yourself to you a day before. And don't treat this as a negative, treat this as a positive, because in all of these examples you can find, in life, you can learn two things. You can learn how to do things and how not to do things. But those lessons are equally important. Maybe it's even better to sometimes learn what not to do. So if your manager does that, you have a great lesson. If one day, Leo, you're gonna be a manager and you will know what not to do, right? So don't treat this in a negative way, right? Yeah, man, it's like, that's life, and that's the beauty of life. If life was just strictly linear and everything's fine, you wouldn't have any incentive to fight for anything, right? So use those lessons in an equal way, equal opportunity to learn what not to do and what to do at the same time. They're equally important, right? So if you had a bad relationship and somebody made many mistakes on you, you had bad parents, whatever, all of this can be a great lesson if you're smart enough to turn them into that and not become that yourself, right? So that's what it is, man. I mean, it's maybe, I mean, I hate to say bad, right? Maybe he's not bad. Maybe he's also learning, right? And maybe he doesn't get feedback from anyone. Maybe he doesn't have someone above him to help him to make him better, right? So again, I don't want to just label somebody as bad. I just say that specific instance is bad. I don't know the person and I would be very rude to whatever it is. I don't think it's a bad week. You cannot, this sort of stuff, you cannot allow yourself to do, right? Because absolutely we can have bad weeks, but it doesn't seem like that. It just seems that, you know, a lot of managers, you know, a lot of managers out there have been made managers, for example, because there was simply nobody else to do it, right? So keep in mind, not everybody became manager because they strictly deserve it by their skills, right? In many organizations, you become manager because, well, he is the best right now from all the others, which doesn't mean you're good in that. It just means that you're better than others, and others might be awful at that, right? So just learn, man. Just, you know, just learn. You know, I don't know if you remember my old channel that I showed you in 2008, right? If I show you this, right? You remember I showed you those videos when I worked as a Cisco engineer. When is this? Like 13 years ago, right? You remember this video? This was me like in 2018 or 19, right? At this company, I worked as a Cisco engineer, but I also helped my technicians to set up MikroTik equipment on top of the highest solitaries in town, right? And I would spend, you know, sometimes 8 hours on like 100 meters height, tied up to a iron fence with my laptop and my colleague holding an umbrella. You can't have the gloves on top of that building because number one, you can't type on your laptop, and number two, I can't plug and unplug Pacific and Omni antennas from the actual router board, right? Basically, what I was installing back then and programming were things like this, right? Let me try to find them, right? So you can see this type of stuff. This box that I'm making on this video, you see this box? We were insulate those boxes like this. You would have wireless cards on top of those devices. But what am I trying to say? I was 18 years old or 19, right? And I would spend 8 hours a day on top of the building on like -20, right? On the wind with the laptop configuring stuff. And I really loved it. It was such a fun job, right? But if my perception was different, I could have also said, oh my God, I'm standing here on top of this roof. I remember climbing roofs, you know, in the winter, installing antennas on the roofs because I couldn't send my colleagues without me because they would put antennas on the roofs, and then I had to be down in the roof with a UTP cable plugged into the device so I can program the device, I can set up the antennas. So because the way that wireless, professional wireless networks work, right? You have your central relay station, so you have your office, like main office internet, right? This is where I was working. So this video that you can see here, on top of this building, we had our main link antenna. So this is from where we sent internet, right? But then we had water towers and solitaries, which were connected like this, right? And then let's imagine 50 kilometers away from town, because my company where I worked, we focused on providing internet to rural areas, to basically those villages that don't have cables. You would have things like this. So we would set the internet to this access point here, then to this one, then to this one, you get the idea, then to this one, and so forth, right? So I had to climb all of these buildings, make sure that each one of those is connected to each other. And then we had something called designated network. Designated network was basically a device that it's basically, if this relay fails, well, this guy is gonna route the internet to this one, right? And then this one is gonna go this way, right? And right, so, but it was a lot of work as well, and it was sometimes cold and unpleasant, and it's dark. You know, my boss would call, and I was your age back then, Leo. My boss would call me at like 3-4 a.m. said, Alex, internet doesn't work. You know, dress up. I'm coming to pick you up by car, and we need to go to the office, right? And that's all the part now. You know, what was like 15 years later or more, 16 years later. I don't regret this. I actually miss it. You know, it was such a learning experience. It's crazy, right? And I learned how to talk to customers back then, and I was very young, and so on and so on and so on, right? So, so that's why I say use all of this. I'm saying this not out of my butt, right? But from the experience, use all of that opportunity and just build things, right? Obi, have a good night, my friend. Very true, Marv. Very true. Wireless internet is not very pleasant for users, indeed, but it was better than having nothing, right? So it's true, Marv, that at certain times it could be very unstable when it's super big storms, when the weather is unstable. I definitely agree with you, 100%, man. It was super fun, Leo. I would do it all over again. I would do it all over again, trust me. Okay, let's check the logs now. I think this error that we had should be gone now. I don't think we should be getting that. Mikhail, good evening, buddy. Mikhail is writing on YouTube. All right, so that's fixed, and that's good, really good. I actually like that a lot. Let's make sure actually that production that I can log out and still log in. Okay, that seems fine-ish. It's called real work, exactly. That's why now I feel very spoiled, right? Now I feel very spoiled, just sitting on a chair every day. Alright, beautiful, guys. That's super nice. We fixed that little tiny issue. It was simple, but initially it wasn't. Greetings, boss. Greetings to you, man. "100% Marv, man. I missed that. It literally feels, man, like we live in a different planet now, man. Don't say that. Nostalgia hits me really hard now, man. But you're absolutely right, man. Yes, so this is called GitHub Projects, and it's fully free, yes. We've been using it. We were using Linear for this project, but they didn't want to sponsor this project when I emailed them, and then I switched from Linear to GitHub Projects, yes. So basically, you can go to your GitHub, you can create a free organization. So for example, if I go to, oops, this is not it. So if I go to my programmer network organization, right? You can go here to projects, as you can see over here, projects, and then you create your own boards, right? This is my main board, and as you can see, there's a lot of stuff on it, right? There's the done stuff, and then there's the business stuff and all sorts of stuff, but it's free fully, yes. And I'm not even using it to the full extent because, again, I'm working alone on this project. But for example, if there were other programmers on this project as well, then we could reference those tasks on GitHub, reference them in our PRs and stuff like that. So it's actually even more useful. But since I'm working alone, I have nobody to reference to, right? Nobody to tag and stuff like that, right? Yeah, GitHub is amazing. I really love GitHub. I really, really love it. All right, so if we go actually to our local host now. I think the reason why people use Trello, right, is mainly habits, right? I used Trello, I think, for probably 10 to 15 years. I don't actually know what my account was, but I can tell you that the only reason people do that is because Trello is so old and habits die hard, right? I think this is my assumption. At least if I talk on my own behalf, I think this would be, I don't know which email. No, so it's not this email. Okay, so it's another email. Let's see. But I'll show you. I don't know what's my original account, but I think I had Trello for a decade or more. Let's see. Yeah, this might be my main one. Let's see. Thinkful. Yeah, well, now it's acquired by actual Atlassian, right? So So 2015, this project, but that can't be the first one, right? No chance this is the first one. When is this? This is like 2015 when I was working in Sweden, but no, this is no chance this is the first one. There's like way more stuff before this, right? Consulting, Lunasol, myself, board, Sophia. Yeah, I don't know. U-Track, no, no, I don't know what U-Track is. Let me see. No, I didn't, but actually I wanted to do it. So at one point, I don't know which company I was working at. I was writing some C and I was writing some PHP in WebStorm and C in CLion, and I suggested to one of my CTOs, like, hey, should we actually try to fully incorporate into JetBrains? But we didn't do it. I don't remember why. But I did use something else. So my transition from Atlassian and Trello was Favro. So there's also something called Favro, which is almost a clone of Trello, but just better. So at this point in time, I think I was, I don't know where I was using this. And then at the Dream Data, where I work right now, as many of you know who've been watching, we're using Linear app. So this is now, in my opinion, something that I would use the most, but yeah, but that's it. The thing is, when you're working, so when you're working alone like this, like project, like Programmer Network, literally what tool you use has no significance. There's no difference. No matter what you use, it's the same. The main difference between those tools is when it comes to team, but not even a single team. If it's a single team, even then it doesn't matter. So if you're just working in a single team, you can still use Trello or this. But if you're working in a multi-team collaborative environment, as I do at Dream Data, then the tool plays a huge role. Because, for example, we have like 5 engineering teams at Dream Data, but we're very connected. Each one of us serves a specific portion, but most tasks that we do kind of almost always fall into every team. And this is where a good tool means a lot. And this is where Linear is really good, because in Linear, we can cross-reference tasks from different teams, different boards, different projects. And to the most micro level, a task, I can, tag anybody. I can move the task to someone else's board and someone else's team. So when it comes to those tools, the only value for me is how well does it, and this is where Trello failed. So the reason why Trello failed is because I don't think that even today Trello ever implemented what I just suggested, cross-team collaboration. So Trello is just like a plain Kanban board that we can build now in 3 days here, right? Exactly, right? So it really depends what the problem is that one is solving, right? But for projects like this, like Programmer Network, I could have used my whiteboard and put stickers on it. It would make no difference, right? Yeah. Give me just 1 second. Let me just pour some water. 1 moment. Did you seriously see that, dude? Man, one day when you have kids, you will not be laughing at me, man, okay? Because it's a good one. It's a good he did nail that, motherfucker. He did see that. Like, he literally looked at my socks as I know it. He's like, but to my defense, it's not a Balkan thing. I had to put my kid to sleep. Then I fell asleep with him. And then I just realized that I'm sleeping, so I had to jump out of bed. And I just put the socks on very quickly. But nobody was supposed to see it, right? Fucker. Man, why did I take this big ass apple, man? You too, man. Thank you very much for coming, man. I wish you guys a lot of fun. I'm waiting for my wife to come from work in like an hour as well, so. So what I do, Leo, I have this little thing that just removes all the seeds and stuff from the inside, whatever you call them, right? You see, there's like, I made this hole in it, right? Hello, my friend. Good evening. I'm very good, man. How are you? All right. Luminex, my friend. Good night, bro. Thank you very much for coming, man. Thank you very much for keep coming for a year now, dude. I appreciate that very much, man. If I can help you with anything, anytime, man, just ping me on Discord. Very happy to jump on a call, whatever you need, man. I'm here. Linear is amazing, yeah. Well, actually, before you guys found the stream, I think Leo was still here. We used Linear on Programmer Network initially because I'm working at Dream Data for 3 years now, so we've been using Linear for 3 years now. So when I started this project and this stream, I'm like, okay, let me use Linear. And then I reached out to Linear at one point, and I asked them, hey, do you guys want to, I'm giving you literally, there was, I think, by the time of this stream, this was like half a year ago, I think I got like 10, 15 people to pay for linear. And then I told them, look guys, I'm sending you people. I mean, I'm free money for you. And they didn't want to sponsor the stream, and then I just gave up. I didn't want to use it out of principles, you know. Yeah. I think that was a huge mistake that they made, genuinely, like a massive mistake, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, look, to their defense, let me just say something to their defense. Because oftentimes, all of us, myself included, we think emotionally. But to their defense, right, it's very, like, Linear is still an incredibly small company, right? So I'm sure that they don't have anyone for partnerships, right? For example, to give you an example, at Dream Data, we have Sam, my colleague, an amazing guy, and his only job is looking for partnerships with Dream Data. So what I'm trying to say here is that I understand that Linear couldn't have just saw my stream and said, okay, wow, let's just give this guy this, right? Because there has to be more formal way for them to know. I might be a Hitler if, you know, if just as well, right? So I might be a horrible person that they don't want, you know, to sponsor, right? So to some degree, I get them. And that's why I say it's a shame, because I think this stream would have been good for them, right? Right. But you get what I mean, right? So because they didn't have anyone to appoint to me, so there's a name Hitler, literally Hitler. There are kids out there and parents gave them names Hitler. I swear to God, I'm not kidding with you. I'm not shitting you. Maybe again at one point I'm gonna reach out to them, because yeah, maybe at that point they will actually. Okay, but let me shut up and let's do some work. Well, Twitch to me is kind of an irony, as I said before, right? Because they allow almost naked girls on the stream, right? But then you're not supposed to say a word. To me, that sounds like a twisted set of values. It's illogical in every sense of that word, right? I don't get it sometimes, right? Like, how can you allow almost porn and then not like girls licking this plastic thing? I don't even know what that actually is genuinely. I never saw that. I saw that first time on Twitch, but then I can't say a word. It's I don't get it. Just seems like a very messed up values, if you ask me, man. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so paint solves it all on Twitch. Okay. Oh, lovely. Next time you guys see me, I'm gonna put paint over my mouth, and then I'm gonna use the worst possible language possible. Well, I was told, Rebecca, that apparently the reason why nudity is allowed on Twitch is because girls put apparently, and I'm genuinely saying apparently, I never watched it, and because if I want to watch a porn, I'm not gonna do it on Twitch for sure, right? So just so you don't think that I'm some sort of moral high grounds or whatever, absolutely, I'm not a man of culture by no means, but I find it ridiculous, right, to watch, you know, a porn on Twitch, right? Because it's illogical, right? But apparently, if they put paint all over their bodies, then apparently that's allowed. So I was saying, if I put some paint over my mouth, then I can use my very descriptive language that I genuinely use a lot. Exactly, right? Oh my god, man. Where is this world going? I sometimes wonder. Yeah, well, actually, let me tell you one thing. Actually, let me not. Forget it. Let me not tell you one thing. No. If I go there, then it's hard to go back. So let's just leave it there, okay? Yeah. Let's no. Let's not go there. Better. I almost thought, yeah. Yeah. Backpedaling, big time. No. My brain was like, oh, dude, no. Don't, it's, dude, Alex, like. All right. No, am I allowed to show that? No, I don't know. No. Well, this guy, Asmongold, I found a video of him watching someone, and that was quite hilarious. Wait a minute. No. It's called Asmongold, right? Yes. Just don't. Okay, got it. All right. No. Let's stop it. Revert commit. But you guys are like so obsessed with bans. Why would I get a ban of Asmongold streaming that stuff on Twitch? And genuinely, please, and I'm very genuine now. Is there something that I don't know that genuinely I should know? Because I wanted to show the video from his Twitch. Why would I get banned? That would make no sense at all. Because genuinely, maybe there's something. Oh, really? Okay, wow. Well, it sounds like a company that I would run. There's no democracy there, it seems. Okay, fair enough. Ah, I see. Okay, well, fair enough. That's life, right? Let's not nothing to be mad about, right? Power runs the world, right? And influence, right? And we have none of that, right? No power nor influence, right? So that's what it is. That's how it is, unfortunately. I see. Okay, fair enough. And genuinely, I don't know. I mean, I don't know any of that stuff, right? So it's good to know. Thank you. That's very good to know. Okay. Yes, I use Mac at work. This is my work laptop with shitty stickers. But I mean, honestly, that's what it is, right? That's just how it is. I mean, and I'm genuinely not even against it, right? I do respect any effort, right? Those people like Asmongold and those guys, they're not there by accident, right? Nobody succeeds, with exceptions, of course, by accident. So I do respect any individuals who put in a lot of effort and time and believe in themselves, right? So I get it. I mean, it's they got to where they are, and it's not about being fair or unfair. I mean, they provide obviously a huge entertainment value to many people, and you know that's how it is. I mean, what can you do about that, right? I say I respect that, and that's what it is, right? I don't find that annoying at all, right? It's 13-inch. But sorry, report me for what? I didn't do anything. What do you guys mean? I did nothing. What do you prefer, Windows or Mac? I mean, I prefer this machine, Tombo, right? Because this is the best machine I've ever had in my life, right? This is like a 16-core CPU, RTX 4070 Ti, the fastest SSD NVMe generation 5, DDR5 on 5000 MHz. So, can it run New World? Probably not. But the jokes aside, it's very hard to not love this computer, no matter the operating system. So I cannot answer your question honestly, Tombo, because this computer is so good that I really this computer turns on in 3 seconds. So actually loading BIOS on this system takes longer than Windows, right? So because yeah, so that's why I say it's not a good comparison, right? But I do love my MacBook. Like this, I obviously I run my servers on Ubuntu or Xubuntu or Debian, whatever. So I've used all operating systems past 20 years. Actually, I am a member of the, I actually never told you this, guys, but when I was maybe 15, I became the youngest Unix representative in the Balkans. So when I was still living in the Balkans, I became one of the first and youngest moderators of Unix community in the Balkans. Fuck, how was... Yep, here it is. Let's see if I can find it. Man, I haven't logged in here in 15 years or something. Let me see. I don't even know if I have a username and password still. Ah, man, come on. Fuck. Oh. Is it this? What the fuck is this, man? I don't know what that is, bro. Man, what is my email? Shit. No, I don't think it's deleted. Give me a second. I genuinely am interested into this. Man, thank you. Whoever asked me about operating systems, thank you. Fuck, man, what was my email, bro? Cooley Rusty is a guitar player. Cooley Rusty is a guitar player that I listened when I was very young, maybe 20 years ago. He's the first guitar player that I knew who played on a 9-string guitar. No. He was a musician. I really liked him back then. I still like him. Dude, like, seriously, if it's none of those emails here, then it's maybe a Hotmail or some shit. Wait, if I try to find some of my posts, and Hyper, you know, Hyper used to be Hyper was my hacker name, okay? Because the company that I still have, and I opened this company 16 years ago, it's called Hyper Studios. So actually I have an official company opened, and it's called, so this is me, you see? Look at this pretty boy. When I was young and pretty cool, actually. This was this time when I was actually pretty cool. Look at me. Now I have... Look at me, like a little baby. Like, I'm standing here in front of the camera, taking a picture. Hey guys, Alex here. Joined January 2007. 2007, bro. I don't think Leo was... I don't think that Leo was born in 2007. No, I think that I probably at one point updated this picture. And okay, so I updated the picture on 2013. So in 2013, I added this picture. Yep. So Leo, when I became a representative of Unix community in the Balkans, you were still, let me not say doing what, but you know what. Man, and this was my website. Oh my god, dude. I made this website in like 2020, and somebody now is looking $4,000 for it. Motherfuckers. Unacceptable. This was one of my first domain names I bought 20 years ago. 20 years ago I had this domain. Man. Look at this, bro. I'm so proud now. I don't know why. I feel such a sense of pride. Even though it makes no sense. Anyway. No, it's not my domain anymore, man. I wanted to buy it again, but someone is selling it for 20 years now. They're selling it for 4,000. Well, Rebecca, I'm originally from there, right? I was originally born there, but I'm not living there for many years now, right? But you know, the dark Balkan stories from the 90s, I would not like to go there, but anyway, I'm so happy that I found this account. I have so many stories related to this thing, man, when I was young. You don't know this. This is the Balkans. You will not understand this language. This is like Serbo-Croatian or Bosnian or whatever, right? But it's the official organization of the country, basically, that runs this, right? And I used to be a moderator. It seems that I'm basic user now, right? Zapali mi prozor. That means burn my windows. Give me just 1 second before we go back to coding. You haven't logged in 10 years. That's a fair point. You haven't logged in 10 years. Last reply, January 2007. Jesus Christ, man. Man, yeah, time flies by. I mean, I feel like I'm 50 when I look at this. Like, when I look at this, and this is like 2007, I feel like I'm 50 years old now. What the hell, dude? All right. Well, that's what it is. That's how it is. So for those of you who are talking Linux to me, and Linux distributions, I was running distribution organization before you were born. So shut the fuck up. All right, let's get back to this. Alex, have you ever tried... Actually, there's a very nice story, so... I'm sorry, I have to tell the story. So basically, the story of this is very simple. When I was very young, obviously, as you saw there, maybe I was 12 or 13 years old. I was very fortunate to live literally 100 meters away from this IT sector of my government. So the office, IT government sector office, was very close by my house. And when in 1997, I got my first computer, and then I fell in love with computers, right? And then one day I was, maybe 10 years old or something like that. I think I was passing by towards that sector, and I literally entered inside and I said, "Hey guys, I'm Alex. I love computers as well, right?" And for some reason, those guys liked me. They were old fellas, 50 plus, right? And then as I was coming more and more day by day, passing by, and they started loving me as a kid, right? They found a spot for me, right? They found a spot for me. They would invite me into the government's office and give a little chair to me and computer. And there was this guy, Dragan, who passed away, unfortunately. He died from cancer maybe 15 years ago. And he would burn me on a CD any possible Linux distribution I wanted, because it was government funded. I remember he burned me Debian, Mandriva, Ubuntu, Kali. There were so many of those distributions back then. I don't know if they still exist. And I still have. I keep that. CD enclosure. I have all of those CDs. I still keep them. I might even have them here in Denmark, as just a memory of this person. But as a kid, other kids would play outside, and I would just run to the IT office there and sit with those fellas, and they would teach me Linux and Unix and terminal. When I got good with the terminal, they're like, okay, you don't have to click on everything with your mouse. You can just open this black thing, and so it was really nice. They were very nice people, and they really gave me my career, right? They really. It's crazy, man. Like, they don't know what they did, right? But those who are still alive today, is few of them. Whenever I see them, I have such an enormous respect for them, like almost like they're my parents, right? Because people underestimate how very little effort you can affect someone's life, right? Because I remember maybe 5 years after that, when I was maybe 15, I was fixing computers already, and I was hacking access point stations in my city, right? And I remember breaking computers. I was fixing them, but I was breaking my own a lot, because I needed something to experiment on. And I remember one day I broke it. I started crying, right? Because I thought my parents would get mad. So then we walked to the service guy, and we brought the computer. And I remember what he said, and he literally changed my life with that sentence. He said to my parents, "Look, guys, don't you think that your child is very talented for this? So instead of stressing him out, let him break it, we'll fix it, he's not gonna burn it, whatever." And literally that little thing that guy told them set the path for me, right? From that moment on, I was just breaking shit, fixing it, playing with cables, right? And that one sentence of that person that he said to my parents, like, just changed everything. It's pretty crazy, man. Just like those tiny things. Yeah, I don't know, pretty amazing. But that's, yeah, a lot of stories like that. Pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. All right, well, that's it. What is this? Bookmarks, headers. Okay, we don't need that anymore. No, my pleasure. No, I don't know how I got triggered. I'm sorry for blah-blahing about it. Maybe it's not interesting to some, but it's good to remember. I completely forgot about some of those things. It's quite crazy, actually. I'm actually genuinely happy that I even thought about it, because it's been so long. And back then, Dragan, this guy, he gave me a PHP book. It was a PHP 3 book. And I remember, man, I remember the smell of that book. It was the first Bible, like an IT Bible. We used to call them IT Bibles back then. I don't know how they're called now, but back then they were called IT Bibles, right? Because they were like so big. And man, I read that book from start until the end, man, because it was the only book I had. It was the only programming book I had, right? There's more stories. There's more stories about Visual Basic 6 and about Pascal and how I learned those, but I mean, I don't know, maybe that's why I like sharing knowledge as well. You never know, right? You never know where this passion comes out, but I feel so grateful to those people, right? Because they were not aware back then what they were doing, right? They were not aware of the effect that they have on me, right? So that's why no matter what you do in life, especially with younger people, never underestimate, never undermine the importance of how you behave. Never underestimate how much you can affect people around you just by saying even a wrong thing. You know, it's yeah, it's crazy. Thank you very much, Car. Thank you for the sub. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I love you, Sako. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. You kick ass. Wait, what happened here? Why is this edit button at the end? Wait. Oh, that's why, okay. No, blah, 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 what? Oh, okay. Well, I guess, should we do something like this? Rip Becca. Wow, okay. That's a bit strange. Okay. So maybe we wouldn't do it here. Flex item center gap. 1. Rebecca and I met in New World. I actually, yeah, I miss that game sometimes. I had very nice memories. What the hell is happening, man? Leo, my friend, thank you very much for being here the entire time, man. Sleep well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for being here. Actually, I might have a better idea. Yeah, let's do that. So what I'm actually gonna do, because this is a dashboard after all, right? So it's a place where we need to edit our stuff. Let's just try something like this, right? Yeah, and then let's do the same with the delete, right? And then we'll figure it out. So let's say trash or bin. What was it? Bin, trash, no, delete bin, yeah. Play one game. I mean, dude, enjoy the school, man. Enjoy the school, because before you know it, it's gone, right? And then you start working, and then once you get into the machine, it feels like you're never getting out of it, right? Not trying to mansplain you. I've heard that concept recently, mansplain, but you get what I mean. Enjoy the school while it lasts, because yeah, it's not gonna last forever. Where did I don't know. I watched some political video on YouTube, and some woman, girl, whatever she is, she told some other politician in the parliament that he is mansplaining, and then the guy got super fucking triggered, and that was hilarious. And he was right, not because he wasn't right because he was not being a dude who likes to explain. I mean, let's face it, us men, we like to explain things, but not just to women. We like to explain things to everybody. We are just notorious for that. But the guy just got triggered because she said that in a parliament where literally the main course of action is discussions, right? And then I googled a bit, and then I realized that there's a new concept called mansplaining. A guy explaining things to a woman, and she doesn't want him to explain shit, right? Hilarious, mansplaining. That's how it is. Yeah, it's just I never heard that. It's kind of silly shit, right? I mean, we're all always explaining something. We're always doing that to someone, right? I mean, man or woman, right? That's why I found it a bit hilarious, because it's not that not any of us are not guilty of that, right? I explain stuff to men and women alike, and people tell me to shut up, and then I do, right? So that's how it is, right? It's I think it's not bad. It's fine, right? I think. But what do I know? And what the article. I mean, you know, yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah. Yeah. You know, I don't wanna say it. I don't wanna say it. It's a bit strange. I mean, the thing is, like, not to get political in that sense, because those subjects are really a trigger zone for most people, because there is indeed this the thing is, you know, throughout history, we can kind of say that mostly the radical side was the right side, right wing, right? Whatever that is, right? But I think that now we have two radical sides, and sometimes those things go to a very extreme, right? Because at the end of the day, right, there's one ultimate question to ask. Is our communication and clarity of communication getting better or worse, right? Because if we start inventing those things for the future generations, then nobody is going to be able to speak about anything anymore, right? Because you're going to be stopping yourself from discussing very important, critical issues for the planet. Because you might, you know, you imagine you start talking to someone, then you stop yourself because, oh man, am I actually mansplaining now? Am I womansplaining? Am I whatever, right? You get what I mean? So I think, yeah, I don't know. I think it's on a very high level. I think it's very scary what's happening in that sense, because, right, if we invent so many of those constraints of what you can and cannot say in this, then I don't know, I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's going to take us to a better place. I think it's going to take us to a worse place, and I think we are already in a very bad place in that sense, right? So, you know, I don't know, actually. Baz, good evening, buddy. We all, and of course, we all know somebody who's explaining shit, right? Man or woman. I mean, I have... and people like that at work, right? But that's how it is, right? I think this is more on us personally rather than others. So I think all of us should try to build ourselves up in a way so we can hear the person on the other side. You get what I mean? So instead of being influenced by the imaginary holistic rules of communication, each one of our core feelings should be, no matter who am I speaking to, let me actually try to understand what is that person not saying, but what they're meaning. Because sometimes people might be saying something that, and that's not what they're telling. You get what I mean? So I think those rules are rather something that you can choose to apply to yourself and get offended by them, or say, okay, whatever, man. It's like, what is the intention of that person on the other side? Is the intention to truly school me, or is that person just, you know, like that, right? Yeah, I get it, right? Don't take me wrong, I'm not saying that such thing doesn't exist, right? But I think that the intention is what matters a lot sometimes, right? Because maybe such person, or man or woman, might not be aware of that they're actually doing what they're doing. They might be just naturally like that. They like to explain things to everybody, right? So I think if you get at the bottom of that, then that maybe the perception of consuming such information can be different, right? Then you can say, okay, this guy just likes to talk crap, right? I see. Well, I don't know. I've never. I see. Yeah. I cannot say that I know that, because I'm obviously not a woman. So what can I say? If you girls say it's like that, then I trust you. I obviously I can't. You know, people usually avoid me, men and women. So what do I know, right? When people see me, they usually run away. Oh shit! There's he. There's the guy. Fuck. Run. Shit. Oh, no. Oof. Nah, yeah. You should... Yeah, you don't even want to know. Okay. You see how politically correct I am. Both men and women came together to avoid me. You cannot be this level of you cannot be this level of correctness. Everybody collectively, I made people come together to avoid me. You figure, right? It's amazing. Okay, good. Sako, shut up, don't say it. I know what you're saying. That's okay, so that works. It's just, why is this farting out? So we couldn't find the article with that slug. We can't find the article with that slug. Wow, they can't find the article with that slug. Type, navigate to new article. I'm sorry, we can't find the article with that slug. Ooh, with that slug. Jack, my friend. Wow, actually, so wait. I mean, it even started back in my education. I was the only woman in my class, and even my teacher told me on the first day that I might as well quit because women don't function in this industry. But did seriously this happen? Like I genuinely feel like and I trust that this happened, right, Car? And I'm genuinely, on behalf of every normal person on the planet, I apologize that you had to go through that. I mean, I genuinely can't comprehend people who Like, this is how I live, right? And I think this is fundamentally how people should live. If you can't help, at least don't make it worse, right? I can't believe that there is a person out there, right, that can do this, man or women. Don't take me wrong. Look, I also have been told so many things in my life, right? Not even by my teachers, by my closest family. Yeah, you know, you want to be a programmer, maybe, you know, just study something else. So I feel you there. It's just my mentality is very different. Those things actually motivate me a lot. So more you kind of trigger me, it's worse for you, right? That's my character, right? But this thing, I sometimes, you know, I need to hear it from someone like you to even believe it, because I can't believe that there's a person out there who does this, man or women, it doesn't really matter, right? Yeah, it's just horrible that people like this exist, genuinely. Like, I don't understand what he could get out of this. I think this is just a very shitty person. That's all. I don't think it's very sad. It's very sad, right? I mean, if that would happen to my daughter, for example, one day, and she would come to me and tell me that, I would find the guy, I would break his legs. I would beat the living shit out of him, literally. And that's the only thing I'm praying that it doesn't happen. Like, if my daughter would come to me one day and say, this piece of shit told me that I should quit, yeah, I genuinely hope that doesn't happen. Like, no, dude, like, that's the only thing in life that I'm worried about, is that somebody doesn't do something to my kids, man. If that would happen to my daughter, like, that, I would make sure that that guy does that for the last time in his life. Like, literally. I swear to God. Like, it pisses me so much to hear those stories. It's crazy, man. Like, why, man? Why, you know, why would you do that to anybody, right? It's like, what do you gain out of that? If you can't help someone, incentivize them to be better, just at least don't make it worse, man. Don't make it worse, dude. Like, horrible, man. Yeah, that's disgusting, really. Genuinely disgusting. I'm sorry, genuinely, on behalf of everybody, that people actually hear that disgusting stuff, man. Yeah, well, that's I guess what it is. They're just, sometimes you just meet terrible people, and what can you do? What can one do, right? Yeah, you clearly did, and that's amazing. But I know I've had so many of those experiences. Again, it's just a matter of character. And as I always say, me and my wife, we often talk about that, right? And she sometimes praises me in that sense. But then I often tell her, look, that's all great, but not everybody has that type of mentality. For some people, it's enough to discourage them once for them to give up, right? So you cannot take a specific use case like mine and say, well, no, I mean, there are many people that it's enough that you say such a bad thing to them once and discourage them for the rest of their lives, right? So it doesn't work the same on everybody, right? But yeah. It's disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting. Oh. Actually, we eat a lot of apples. We eat a lot of apples. My son loves them. He does beg my French. He does fart a lot from them. I think it helps his. I think it helps his what is it called? Whatever, stomach a lot. but I think it's very healthy for him. But he's yeah, he is shooting at me every night. It's sometimes very difficult to smell, but that's what it is. I take it. Sometimes it's hilarious, man. Like, he just farts in the sleep from the apple. I think it's kind of cleansing his stomach. I don't know how to explain that in English, right? No, he does, because apple does that to your stomach. Genuinely, I'm not trying to be rude or funny. It's super good for your digestion or whatever, right? So whenever he has an apple, it's like, yeah, turbo mode. Something like that. Yeah, for sure. So, you know, it's yeah, it can get pretty yeah, there you go. Don't take my word for it. And then I feed on mid. It's kind of funny how I kind of blamed it on my son, though. I was like, my son is farting, you know. If this microphone only didn't have noise cancelling, you would see that the reality might be slightly different. I'm just kidding. I swear to God, I'm kidding. It's just a joke. I swear to God, like, I swear I'm kidding. 100%. I completely never did that. And it's only butterflies in this room, clearly. Yes. Reverts third commit. That's a good one, Sako. Simple cookie. I mean, what can I tell you, man? I mean, I'm sorry to hear that, but probably we're gonna have more of those, right? Nothing against you, man, right? Don't take me wrong, right? I respect you coming here, and all of you, right? But I want to focus on people who are actually. I wanna build this community in a way where I respect people who actually come here and put their effort as well with me, right? So it's a mutual two-way thing, right? Simple cookie. So don't take that as if I if I don't, right? I just wanna incentivize people who've been following me for more than a year and being here almost every night. I wanna give space more to them than, let's say, you who come here every month for 10 minutes, right? And I think that's fair. That's why I'm being transparent about it. For me, those numbers of viewers and stuff, they mean nothing, because people that I care about are those people, right? You want money. I don't want the money. I don't care about money, no. Fuck, let me actually get this chat here. I'm looking at the screen there, you know, once I leave the room and see my wife, I'm gonna be talking to her like this. Hey lad, how you doing? So it's like, wait, how do I pop out this chat, man? How many times do I have to learn the same thing? It's ridiculous, man. How many times will I forget where that pop out chat is? It's not here. Jesus Christ, man, it's so hard. Hey love, you know, I'm gonna be, how you doing, you know? Jesus Christ, man, where is it? Pop out chat. Yeah, oh my God, man, will I learn it ever? Okay, there were some questions. Let's see some of the questions, fellas. How much are you paying for the site and where is it cloud deployment? It's not, I'm hosting stuff on Hetzner. So I did all the infrastructure myself. So it's not in the cloud. It's not, I pay $20 a month. I can very quickly show it, and really, I really need to record a video on this, because I've answered the same question so many times that at this point it's getting kind of crazy. But this is in short. This is in short. When you go to Programmer Network, this is it. I have everything is behind Cloudflare IP ranges. Frontend is hosted on Cloudflare pages. I have internal firewall, internal Nginx. I have the whole. I'm gonna call Victor to help play one game. Victor has a very big heart, very good man. I will invite him to help us out. Carry things, and he only accepts payment in natural ways. He doesn't take money. He only takes. Okay, so we have a Fastify API internally, Postgres and Redis, Grafana, Prometheus, and Alert Manager. So basically, Grafana and Prometheus obviously for dashboards, Node Exporter for. So all of those are Docker images. This is a certbot for generating SSL certificate, Google Advisor for monitoring performance of Docker images, Alert Manager for alerting to my Slack Docker image. Those are metric gathering things, like I use this to measure Postgres performance, resource usage performance. Nginx internally basically doesn't really do much with rate limiting and stuff, but it does serve very well for certbot. It's a cron job that generates certificates. Fastify API, Redis database, Postgres. This is not deployed yet, task scheduler, and that's basically. Yeah, man, my pleasure. I will record a more detailed video on this because there's a lot of stuff here, right? There's a lot of stuff on there's also a lot of stuff on. There's a lot of stuff I have on Cloudflare as well. So there's Cloudflare firewall, VAF. Cloudflare rules. I'm using 2 or 3. I'm using 2 or 3 service workers, or to say web, or to say Jesus Christ, man. Some serverless stuff on Cloudflare, and yeah, I think this deserves a video. How expensive it is? 20 euros a month, but I could even have it for 10 euros a month. If I cared, right? It's a very good question, right? Well, actually, it's a bit more than 20. It's a bit more than 20. Let me actually tell you. So I'm paying 21 euros for this. So let's calculate it together, because I think actually that was my idea. This whole, I always wanted. So the thing is, when I talk about you guys subscribing and stuff, etc., keep in mind that I've never. This very little money that I make off the stream is really just paying for some of those things. And I'm very proud of. So that was the idea from day one. From day one, I'm like, okay, let me have this stream. There's going to be at least some portion of people who will subscribe to support the stream and the project. And then we can invest that money into the platform. And I do wish, honestly, that there's a bit more subscribers so we can pay a designer on Fiverr or somewhere else, right? Because it's not that I can't pay them myself. I can easily do it. It's not about that. It's about community. It's about fun. It's about sense of everybody being part of it by chipping in a bit, right? But anyway, so I'm paying. So I think that stream doesn't really cover all the costs yet, because we have 21.13 euros. So actually no. So this is 25 euros a month, because the backup is 5 euros as well. So this is 25 euros. For Hetzner. Then I have GitHub, which is, I believe, $4 now a month. Then I have Cloudflare Images, which is $10 a month. I have Docker Hub, where when we deploy our images from API, when we deploy the production. I actually don't remember how much I pay for this. Let me see. I don't genuinely remember. Let's take a look at that. Billing. I pay for private images. I have Docker Pro, monthly subscription, next payment. How the fuck? How much do I pay for this, man? $7 a month. $7 a month here. Fuck, was there something else? No, I think that's it. I think that's pretty much how much we pay. I can't, no, yeah, no. Yeah, so 25, 29, 39, so $46. The main I pay once a year, so that's like $50 a year. So that's basically, let's say, $4 a year, right? You could just use GitHub. Actually, let's do that. I think let me make that task. Let's do that optimization. Of course, we should do that. If we can pay $7 less, move from Docker Hub to GitHub. Absolutely, man. Because again, as I always say, the challenge that I want to accomplish with this project, especially if it succeeds, is COGS, right? Cost of goods sold, right? So my obsession is keeping the costs low, not because if I can or can't pay them, is because the platform that costs very little to maintain has a way higher chances of competing with other products because you can reduce some of your premium features, prices, and compete with them. So of course we should always strive to build a product that costs as less as possible, right? Cloudflare is free. I don't pay for Cloudflare. Actually, did I tell you guys I'm actually going to the Cloudflare event this month, I believe. I'm gonna take some pictures for you guys. So it's gonna be actually Sako. You should come with me if you're in Copenhagen. I don't know if you're there, but you should also apply. So I'm gonna be attending. I'm gonna be meeting the Cloudflare engineering team on, as I shared with you guys, on 16th of November. And the event is happening here, and I can't wait. It's a super cool villa. It's a super cool villa. Like, so I think it's gonna be super nice. I don't actually know where, which exactly place in this place, but I'm gonna try to stream from there when I get there. Sako, you should probably sign up as well. I don't actually know if I still have a link. But yeah, let me actually get that link that you shared. Thank you everybody for your follows. Sorry for neglecting it for the time being. Beautiful. Sako, thank you. $7, we're gonna save a month. Beautiful. But anyway, publicly for you guys, so we're basically 25, 29, 39, 60, $46 now. 46 plus $4 a month for the main, so $50 a month. Now with this optimization that Sako said, we can save $7, so it's gonna be $43 a month. Cheeky Trooper, thank you very much, buddy, appreciate it. Of course, I could cut a lot on this as well. I don't really need to pay for... This is euros, yes, but euro and dollar today, they're almost equalized, right? Euro, the worth of dollar and euro is almost identical today, right? Cheeky, thank you very much for the prime, man. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man. So that's it. All right. Anyway. Let's switch to the main screen here. Thank you for asking. Alrighty, guys, let's take on. If anyone has some more questions, let's take one or two, and then my wife is back from work, and I want to see her, and I want to go to sleep as well. Yeah, that's again, we could save up a bit. Like Docker, for example, Cloudflare images, it's very expensive. It's $10, and like if I show you the Cloudflare actually before I leave, wait. So for example, you can clearly see that I'm paying for a thing or two, which is not really necessary maybe at this stage of the product. So let me show you just what I mean. So give me a second. Website, programmer network. No. Give me a second. So for example, if I go to Cloudflare images, you can see that I'm paying for 100,000 images a month. We deliver at 7,000, right? So this is and we're paying $10 for this, right? But are we paying $5? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait. Shit. Maybe we're paying $5 for this. I hope it's not 10. Wait. No, it's $10. It is $10, but why is it 10? Yeah, I don't know why I'm paying $10, but I guess it is $10, yeah. Where would you host Docker? No, I think I think we're not paying, I mean, more than we're supposed to, right? We're curious, where do you utilize deployment platform for singular? Where would you host a Docker image to scale quickly? Well, I mean, I don't honestly know what you mean to scale quickly, right? Because a Docker image doesn't really have much to do with scaling quickly, right? If you need obviously high availability, low latency, and all of that stuff, you probably want to use GCP or AWS, run some Kubernetes, right? I have a Kubernetes right behind me here, right? I'm actually recording a course on that, so you can see actually if I switch my. So you see this next to the guitar behind me, there's a little Kubernetes cluster. So if you need high availability and all of that stuff, you want to definitely go in the cloud and use, some of those very specialized services in the cloud, right? Again, self-hosting stuff as I do sounds cool, hackish. Oh my God, this guy is smart and stuff like that. But not really, right? When you have an operating business that generates profit, and it's very expensive to self-maintain and self-host, right? So if a programmer network project would ever succeed, I would probably move to Google Cloud, right? Like, not probably, most definitely, right? Because I want to build the product, not the infrastructure, right? Because again, as I said many times in the stream, nobody comes to your website and says, oh my God, this website has low latency. Nobody does that, right? Nobody wakes up and says, oh my God, the internet is so fast today. So infrastructure is something that an end user doesn't care about, right? So it provides no value, right? It provides no value, which means you want to do as less of it as possible. So if you want high availability, less work, and more focus on building the product and the features, then go Google Cloud, GCP, Google Cloud Platform. That's what we use at Dream Data. I love it. I think it's very expensive as well, but then also self-maintaining things is also even more expensive, right? So that's and then you don't care about scaling. You have auto balancers, auto scale. You set up pretty much everything out of the box almost, right? You have some SIG guitars. Yeah, I have some good guitars. I promised to Rebecca and Car and few of them that I'm gonna play at one point, but unfortunately I stream always very late, and before every stream I put my kid to sleep. So when I put him to sleep, then I can't just turn on electric guitar here and start jamming, right? Because he's sleeping in the room next to me. So yeah. Okay, friends, This blue guitar is a Gretsch. It's a jazz guitar. I do have a favorite, probably. It's the white one. It's the Joe Satriani guitar. So this one in the back, the white one. So basically, it's this one. Sleep well, friend. Thank you so much. I'm going as well now in like 20 seconds. So, yeah. All right, friends. What is to say? Thank you very much. I wish you a great evening. And thank you for being here. Thank you for subscriptions. We had actually a bunch of primes and subs today. So that always motivates. Honestly, thank you very much. And good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Peace out, everybody. And I wish you well. Sako, my friend. See you soon, man. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye.